But I have a different question, and my question regards the recent Supreme Court decisions, including Citizens United, that said the corporations have the same rights as people and that money equals speech. And I'm wondering, do you agree with those decisions? And if not, what would you do to overturn them?
Okay, Citizens United basically struck down parts of McCain-Feingold.
Right.
And now it's the Wild Wild West. How many of you got TVs? You're going to be sick of political ads before this campaign's over. I can only tell you what happened in North Carolina. I'm from South Carolina. They spent $100 million on the Senate races in North Carolina. I got so sick of seeing ads. Half the people in South Carolina thought they were voting for the two candidates in South Carolina. The only way you can change this, I think, is through a constitutional amendment. I don't know if we can get one passed, but here's what you've opened up to. Right now, I need about $15 million to be competitive on the campaign side. That's a lot of getting on the phone and calling and $2,700 events and a lot of just fundraising. But one person who doesn't like me can write a check to wipe all that out. What I worry about is that we're turning campaigns over to about 100 people in this country.
That's right. That's right.
And they're going to be to advocate their cause at the expense of your cause. If we don't figure this out soon, we're going to lose what has been a pretty good system. Money in politics has to be regulated, because if it's not, you lose your influence. You lose your voice. Do you think unlimited giving by a handful of people doesn't affect legislation? I'm in the place, I can tell you it would. So, ma'am, I don't know, but somebody needs to figure out a way to deal with Citizens United, or we're going to lose the democracy that a lot of people have died for.
But Citizens United, you're saying a constitutional amendment.
I think that's probably the only way. If you think of a better way, I'm open-minded.
The Senate voted on a bill.
Yeah, the problem is that they had a loophole for unions you could drive a truck through. I'm not going to unilaterally disarm as a Republican.
What would you personally do if this, it's a tremendous threat to our democratic system?
I think, the
What
next
would you
president of the
personally do?
United States ought to get some smart people in a room and say, all right, give us some views, some options here. How could we constitutionally move forward where no one party gets an advantage over the other?
What would you do with the Supreme Court?
What would I do to the Supreme Court? Well, I would appoint vacancies. How many people believe that the biggest prize of 2016 is maybe to appoint up to 3 judges on the Supreme Court? How many believe that we can get all of our judges and they never get any of theirs?
No.
Okay. So let's say Hillary wins.
So I'm just one more interruption. Would that help capitalism, cure capitalism?
What's that?
Would that cure capitalism and money go the lobbyists going and
Well, capitalism is a good thing. Undue influence on legislative bodies is a bad thing.
right?
So here's what I would suggest. The Supreme Court is the prize of the 2016 election. If you want a conservative judge, you better elect a conservative president. Here's what's not going to happen. Have people told you we're going to abolish the IRS? Have you heard that from a Republican candidate?
No.
Yeah.
How many people believe we're actually going to abolish the
Never.
IRS?
It's not gonna
We're not. Now, we can have a flat tax, and we can have a smaller IRS, but somebody's got to collect the taxes. If Hillary Clinton wins the White House, and you think we can stop her for 4 years from appointing anybody on the Supreme Court, that's not going to happen. So here's what I'm here to tell you. Elections matter. These executive orders of Barack Obama, I think are unconstitutional. They're in court today. The way you fix that is pick a president who won't do those kind of things. So I hope and pray that we'll take this election seriously and realize the ramifications of losing. If we lose, then everything that's in place today stays in place. If we lose, there'll be more liberal judges than there are today. So please understand, this is an election we can't afford to lose.
A question about money in politics is: do you think the money is the bigger problem, or the fact that there is something to buy with it? If we had there was less government involvement in so many areas, people wouldn't be willing to throw all their money to try and influence it.
Well, I think the size of government does attract money. I mean, we're spending about $4 trillion a year, so there's a lot to lobby about. But let me tell you where money really matters. How many of you would like to see something like Simpson Bowles done to save Medicare and Social Security? Somebody's got to do it, right? When you reach across the aisle, you come back with a stump nowadays. There's a group for everything. If you can grow it, fry it, or eat it, there's an association for it. There's people on the left who are going to not allow you to change one word of Social Security or Medicare, thinking they're helping. Well, if you don't do something, Medicare and Social Security are going to get devastated. There are people on the right that are going to insist that if you eliminate a deduction in your tax code, all the money has to go to lower rates. Well, you're not going to get one Democrat to adjust entitlements. So the bottom line is, here's where I think money really matters. Primaries are getting harder and harder. Gerrymandering. We're getting districts that are heavily Republican and heavily Democrat. And the only thing people have to worry about is what? A primary. And I think that's what's happened in American politics, that politicians are job scared. That if you try to do something with the other side, there's a group going to knock your head off. And this money that we're talking about comes from people you don't even know who they are. They don't have to tell you who they are. So I think the biggest impediment to a big agreement in Washington is special interest spending, going after those who try to put the deal together. And you know what the antidote is? Rewarding somebody who's trying to do something hard, standing up and saying, no, I don't want you to lose because you tried to fix immigration. I want you to win, even though I don't agree with everything you tried to do.